So as we come to a comfortable seat, take a moment, get yourself happy in your body. Guys, do a little wiggle jiggle if you need to. And first, just begin with some gratitude for some time in your day for your practice to be in connection with yourself. Close your eyes and drop down in and feel the feeling state of the ground. Okay, so notice your feet or your sit bones or your thighs or anything that's grounding onto something, and just allow yourself to make that connection. And then notice, where you're leaning, forward, back, side, up, down, kind of just pay attention to your positioning. And ground into a sense of symmetry through your pelvis as best as you can, even though your legs might be not symmetrical. And then feel the uplift of your spine. Imagine the buoyancy between your vertebrae, the discs kind of plumping up with some fullness, some hydration, airiness. And then let the crown just float over the spine. And bring yourself into the feeling of your heart space. And notice if it's easier to sink and collapse. It might be easier, but see if you can open and broaden. And when you lift your heart, are you more available to come into connection with those around you? Okay, so you might be home alone in your house right now, or maybe your pet or your family member is in close proximity. And if so, feel their energy. And then also feel the support of this yoga tribe. I don't want to say names out loud because this is recorded, but maybe open your eyes for a moment and take notice of the people who are here in your practice with you, that you're not alone. And have a moment of just acknowledging everybody who's here. And let's take a collective breath in and a releasing exhale. Keep your breath moving steadily. Relaxing through your face, softening through your eyes. And even as you relax your body and surrender into the practice a little bit, see if you can feel the constancy of the heart lift. That it can be something that we just shine this light, that we bring the fullness of our heart space. And it takes discipline to stay here. It's not something that's habituated for most of us. We want to collapse at times. So see what you can do to softly open your heart energetically. And when you're open in this way, you have much more likely the capacity to stay in connection, to stay in noticing the connections that you have. Soften through your eyes again. Notice your breath and relax your shoulders. Bring your hands to your heart. Feel that magnetizing heart space lifting toward your hands. Bow your head and offer an intention here. And then relax your hands. right, let's come onto our back. As we begin to stretch out and lengthen our bodies on the mat, see if you can enjoy what it feels like to let your whole body spread out on the ground. And of course, we're looking for connections. You know, that's our yogic homework for the day, for the week, to sense our connections, to appreciate and value our connections, to be present for our connections. Let's start with just the simple connection to the earth itself. And you can have your feet on the ground or your legs on the ground, your choice. But just notice what it feels like to feel support. Imagine that the ground below you is a hand or an embrace, a hug that's holding you, that it's not just this inert surface to rest upon, but that it's a living embrace upon you. Can you melt and surrender into it? I think we all know the feeling of lying down in the grass and how just being directly on the earth is very nourishing. So it's below you, even if you've got floorboards and other things between you and the earth, it is below you. So sense into that energy. And then let's begin to stretch, reaching the arms overhead and enjoy lengthening through the sides of your body. Full breaths here. And then draw your knees into your chest and let's rock a little bit, swaying from side to side. All right, and then hang on to the knees and do some circling, just feeling some ease and freedom in your hips, your thighs, your back. All right, go the other way, a little bit of spinning. And then let's open up the knees away from the midline and bring them back in. And you can do this symmetrically or zigzaggy. You know, just see if you can feel your way into your hip joints. Loosen things up a little bit. And then right knee into your chest, and then left knee into your chest. And the other leg, as you go back and forth here, is straightening out. And as you straighten the leg out, really straighten the leg out, open the back of the knee, maybe flex the toes, just kind of going back and forth, kind of warming some of those hip flexors a little bit. And then stretch to a star, reaching your limbs wide. Let's roll around in your wrists and wiggle through your toes and get to know the edges of your body, all those little joints in your fingers and toes and hands and wrists and ankles. A big breath in, and as you exhale, round in, pick up your head. And once more, expanding open to a star, and then exhale, drawing in. Put your head back down onto the ground again. Okay, keep your knees in toward your chest and come to a happy baby. Grab behind your knees or the top bottoms of your feet, depending on how open your back is feeling. And just release down to the ground. A little rocking left and right. Loosen up the hips and back again. And then put your feet onto the ground. Windshield wiper your knees left and right, and feel free to swing that top leg a little deeper into your twisting, warming up your spine. All right, and then put your feet down onto the ground, cactus your arms, and notice if the backs of your hands easily come to the ground. And if they don't, that's just some information for you to be aware that your shoulder, is a little tight. But if you have that sense of grounding, press from your fingernails, all the way through to your elbows, press down, and then release. Release your neck. Let the base of your skull be soft. Drop your shoulder blades down your back a little bit and then press again. Upper arms too. So the humerus bones, the radius, the ulna, all of those bones in your hands pressing down. And then relax. Reach your arms straight up in the air and pull your fingers toward the sky, and then root your humerus bones down into the ground. And one more time, pull the fingers toward the sky and then root the shoulders down into the ground. Stretch your arms overhead one more time, a big star on the ground. Exhale, draw your knees into your chest, and we'll roll to the side. Come up to your hands and your knees. Finding all fours. And let's start to move through some cat-cows where we feel the fullness of our vertebrae, arching your back, rounding the spine, taking some time to move through your spine and breathe here. Breathe fully, breathe deeply. And then wag your tail, move like a fish, moving through the water. And then find any kind of movement your body wants to have. Shoulders, hips, head, any movement at all. And then we'll come down to a child's pose and walk those hands far out in front of you, soften into your sit bones. A full breath here. Walk the hands over to one side and feel that stretching through the side body. Drop some weight into the pelvis. And then over to the other side you go. Coming back to center. Wag your tail one more time, like a little puppy dog. Cat and a cow. And then we'll find a fuller twist. Reaching one arm up. Feel free to move your wrist around. Drop that shoulder down, twisting to the side. Spread the shoulder blades apart from each other. Feel the rib cage move. All right, square to the ground, chest broad, collarbones broad, the arms still under there. Feel your shoulders stretch. And then inhale and bring that arm back up in the air. Hand comes down onto the ground. And let's switch sides. Arm up. Exhale, slide that arm down. Twisting to the side, breathing deeply. Enjoy. Full breath in, full breath away. All right, and then facing the ground, collarbones broaden, stretch the backside of that shoulder. Inhale, bring that arm back up in the air. Hand comes down onto the ground, and let's find our way, lifting into a dog pose. So stretch open into your legs now. Let's start to invite some warming into the legs. Pedal your feet. Bending a knee, feeling that openness through your ankles, your Achilles, your feet, your calves. Stretching all the way through to your spine, feeling the lift of your sit bones. Feel your way into some spaciousness in your body. All right, and then when you're ready, walking forward to an Uttanasana, forward fold, relax your head, let it bobble any bit you want. Softening into a deep forward fold, let your spine lengthen. See if you can shimmy your ribs away from your hips. Grab onto the base of your skull with the heel of your hands. Draw down toward the ground and draw your chin in. stretching those paraspinal muscles. And then bring your hands onto your blocks and extend and open up to a half lift. Feel free to pedal your feet a little bit while you're here. And then melt. Fold again. Push through your feet. Rising up, bringing the arms to the sky. Extend and open. Let's cactus open the chest here. Feel expansive. Imagine your arms were still on the ground, pressing back. And then exhale and come forward with your forearms. Collapse the chest just a little bit so the back of the heart expands. Bring your fists forward and stretch your shoulder blades apart from each other. Lean all the way down and reach your arms so the back body's broadening. Bend your knees. And then push through your feet and rise all the way back up. Release your hands down. Interlace your fingers behind your back. You can always use a strap behind if you can't reach very well. And then take a moment to just stretch the front of your shoulders so you can interlace your hands or hold the strap and open up across your chest. Keep the back of the neck long. Try not to compress. Drop the shoulder blades down. Open that lifted heart. Spread the collarbones. And then we'll bend our knees and lift your arms away from your spine. Stretching the front of your shoulders. Feel free to rock your hands left and right a little bit if you want. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Release any tension through your head. All right, relax your arms down. Interlace your elbows with your hands. Relax your head again. Inhale for a halfway lift, extending through your spine. Exhale and melt. Feel the backs of your legs open. Dog pose. Stretch back. Feeling that extension in your spine and connect with your breath. Release tension through your neck. Feel the heart expand in all categories. So like the full torso expanding. And then lift your ribs, your heart up toward the pelvis. We'll come forward into a plank. Ground yourself. Push the ground away. And see if you can just slightly melt your heart toward the ground. And then push a little stronger, separating your shoulder blades. And just a little bit of movement of the shoulder blades toward the spine and away from the spine. Integrating the core. Lots of work through your lats, through your serratus. And then we'll put our knees down onto the ground and find the earth. We'll roll the shoulders a little bit here. Inhale for a cobra, an open chest. Exhale and relax back down. Come to a sphinx pose. So forearms are on the ground, elbows are underneath the shoulders, extend. Don't go too far into the back bend here. Engage your core a little bit, pubic bone toward your navel so your low back is not compressed. And then stretch your right leg a little bit longer. Stretch your left leg a little bit longer, just feeling a slight asymmetry in the pelvis. And then come back to symmetry. Stretch both legs. Reaching your legs, but lifting your pubic bone toward your navel. Feel the heart expand. Drop the shoulder blades down the back. Melt through the base of the skull and the jaw. And then relax and release. Back down. Come up onto all fours. Wiggle around in your spine. Wag your tail. And come back to a child's pose and let your low back open. A full breath here. And bring your blocks in front of you, stack them next to each other, short edges touching. Put your elbows on the blocks. Try to keep your elbows in line with your shoulders, not much wider. And drop back towards child's pose. Take your thumbs toward your spine and open up your triceps. You can always curl your toes under to give a little more lift under your hips if you need. Try not to collapse your armpits toward the ground. So we're not sinking, We're lengthening elbows to your hips. And then round the spine, bring your hands forward. Maybe move those blocks out of the way so they don't get in your way, and lift to a dog pose. Feel the fullness of your body. Ground through hands and feet. Push off the earth to feel the full stretch in your body. And walk your feet forward. Come to Uttanasana. Relax here, melt your head. Push to a half lift, extending through your spine. Exhale, surrender again. Inhale, rising up. Bring the arms upward. Exhale, hands to your heart. And pause here for a moment. Just feel your way into the groundedness of your body, the presence of your breath. All right, bring your hands down at your sides for a moment, and we'll just move our way through some shaking first. So just let your body bounce, let your spine receive a little reverb so that, those discs get a little compression and release and compression and release. All right, and then pause, and you can have your feet a little bit wider if you'd like than your hips. You get to decide how wide you're going to be. And we're going to just start very gently. Don't go too deeply into this in the beginning. We're going to gently open up our spine in this way. So arms just kind of flump onto our body, very passive, letting the movement happen from your pelvis, your core. Your arms are just a recipient of the movement. How's the breath? And then now bringing the arms out to the sides, and you can get your legs a little more engaged. So we're feeling the earth, we're feeling that movement as we twist open through our spine. If you get dizzy at all, you can slow this down or stop. And now arms up. Start to bend into the legs. We're coming down, squatting, and coming back up. How's the breath? And now maybe you need to turn sideways on your mat. We're going to go much deeper. So wide legs. You can slow this down if you'd like. You can sweep low if you'd like. Think less. Feel more. Pause at the bottom into a deep, low squat, elbows inside your knees, getting your legs to open, and we're still going to rock into our left and rock into our right side. Inhale, standing star. Finding your breath. Open that heart. And then bring your hands down, palms coming together. So if you haven't turned, turn sideways on your mat so you got some good grip under your feet with your mat. And we're going to first just kind of bend a little deeper into one side. You can put your hands onto the ground if you'd like, or you can stay with hands to heart, leaning forward a little bit. Come back up, over to the other side. Our chest is moving toward our leg. Engage your core. Come back up. One more time, over to the right. Our toes are not turned to the short edge of the mat. We're just kind of like turned out like we would be for goddess pose. And then over to the other side. And hopefully your legs are prepared to support you in this position. We've kind of, invited them, informed them. We got some feedback. Okay. And now we're going to slowly make our way, transitioning from one side to the other. And you can do lots of different movements. Sometimes I feel like like pulling a rope from one side to the other. That could be a visual that you have. Sometimes I like the idea of sweeping, like you're sweeping across a broad surface in front of you. Maybe you're sweeping up. Okay, so try to think less and just let your body feel flow, moving from one side to the other. And then we'll find our way back to a star. A full breath in, lifting the heart. Exhale to drop down into a goddess pose. Even weight through your legs now. Inhale, rising back up. This time we'll cactus the arms while we're here. Inhale back up one more time. Cactus the arms. Standing star. Full breaths here. And then we'll come to stay in our goddess, and you can rest your hands gently on your legs if you'd like. You can take them to the center. Your hands could be at your heart. You could be up high. Just kind of find what's nourishing to you right now. Sensing symmetry. Open your chest. Resist the collapse of the heart. Keep it open. Feel the shoulder blades drop down the back and ground into the legs. Open your knees up. Feel your feet. Feel your breath. Keep spreading the collarbones and dropping the shoulder blades down. Resist the urge to collapse the upper body. Open up. Inhale, standing star. Turn your feet forward and rest into symmetry. Relax here. Wide legs, deep breaths. Come to a halfway lift, extending through your spine. Both legs are still nice and wide. Exhale, melt again. Now turn to the front side of your mat with your hands. Take your feet back, a dog pose. And enjoy that neutrality of your feet. Breathing deeply here. Come forward into a plank. Lower yourself down. On your in-breath, we'll come up to a cobra or sphinx or anything you want. Melting, coming back down. Up onto all fours, move your spine. Let's find our way into a Vasisthasana. Right hand on the ground. You can either stack your feet or put a knee down like I'm doing. Drop your shoulder blades away from the ears. Stretch your arm overhead and feel that reaching through your body. Keep your right shoulder blade down and firm on the ribs. And then relax. Come back onto all fours. Maybe a little bit of a cat-cow. And then we'll move to the second side. Either stack your feet or the knee can be on the ground. Left shoulder blade. So keep that shoulder blade grounding down the back. So we want that sense of rooting. And then reach the arm overhead and feel that extension in the body. Feel the full hand press into the ground. Open the heart. Exhale back onto all fours. Find your way into a cat-cow. And feel free to wiggle around the spine, a child's pose, or rolling through your spine, anything that's nourishing. And then we'll all meet with our right foot coming in front. Keep your back knee down on the ground, finding a lunge here. Opening up through the hip flexor of that back leg, lifting the heart. Breathing deeply. I will lift the back knee up off the ground and let's start to find the flow. Reconnect with your breath. Where do you like to exhale or inhale as you straighten your front leg and as you bend? Ground yourself in your lunge. Root down. Let's put our back heel firmly on the ground. Inhale, rise up, Virabhadrasana 1. Extending and lengthening. Lift your ribs off your pelvis and stay grounded and rooted through your legs. Can you feel that heart space open up? Can you feel the shoulder blades on the back? And then release the hands down. Put your knee back onto the ground. Feeling that lunge. Push into your feet, rising up on your knee, arms up to the sky. Let's cactus, open the chest, ribs in, shoulder blades on the back. Press into that imaginary wall behind you. And then relax your hands down. Grab the blocks and let them frame your pelvis instead of, or your knee, kind of, but don't be at your feet with your blocks. Okay, so we're going to go back and forth to a half Hanumasana, forward into a lunge. Back and forth, moving with your breath. Pause here in half Hanumasana. Lift the heart again. Lift, lift, lift. Drop the shoulder blades down, very light fingers on the blocks. Keep your foot pointing straight up toward the sky. And we'll take a twist here, reaching the right arm up and twist to open to the right. You can always take that extra block and stack it underneath so that you have a little extra height underneath that left hand. Twisting open, open the heart, lift the heart. Notice if your toes want to turn out, see if you can keep the foot pointing straight up, the inner thigh rolling down, hip dropping. Press into your left shin. And then come back around again, finding that lunge. Come back to a child's pose and just enjoy the compression in your hips, the openness in your back. All right, come forward with your left foot now, finding a lunge on this side. Enjoy keeping your knee down onto the ground for a moment so you just feel that openness. Feel the hip flexor expand and stretch open. Keep your shoulder blades down the back. Invite some integrity in the core, so we're lifting the pubic bone toward the navel. And then when you're ready, lift your back toe or knee up off the ground, curl your toes under. And we'll start to flow with breath here. Connecting to your breathing. Melt something. All right, ground yourself. Let's plant the back heel, root it down onto the ground. Virabhadrasana 1. Arms lifting, maybe the hands interlaced, maybe the arms are wide, maybe your hands are on your hips. So just find the pose that's right for you. Feel the groundedness of both your legs. Root to rise. Lift out of your pelvis Maybe your head tips back and you look up. How's the heart? How's the breath? And come out of that pose. Bring your back knee down onto the ground. Find the lunge again. When you're ready, keep the knee down, reaching the arms up to the sky. And let's cactus. Open the chest, shoulder blades down, ribs and pubic bone toward belly button. Press into the legs. And then release the hands down. Hands on blocks. Move back and forth between a half Hanumasana, straightening that leg, heel on the ground, and coming forward into a deep lunge. How does this side feel compared to the other? And then when we get to half Hanumasana, organize yourself, drop that left hip down, reach the heart. Come up a little higher, fingertips on those blocks. Feel the extension of the spine and the openness of the heart. Keep dropping the hip. If you need a little extra height, you can stack one block under the other. On that right side, try not to lean to the right. We're still neutral. Reaching the arm up and twist to the left. Drop that hip, flex your toes. Find your breath. Shoulder blade down the back. Keep the heart lifting, the spine lifting. Press that shin into the ground. And relax and come out of there. Move the blocks, hands onto the ground in a dog pose. Enjoy the symmetry. Open yourself up, root to rise. Come forward, a plank. One more time, push the ground. Feel the support of the earth. And we'll find the ground one more time. This time, take your arms overhead and lift everything you can up. And then exhale and release. You're gonna bring your arms down at your sides, palms facing the ground. And one more time, lift everything up, but the arms are down now. Feel those shoulder blades firm on the back. Exhale and relax. Put your head under your, or hands under your head. Pick up your feet and relax your back. All right, come on up onto all fours. And we're going to move our way into wild things. So if you have blankets and blocks and things around you, make a little space so that you have broadness without danger of sliding on something. Okay. We're going to, so when we do this pose, of course, you can do a different back bend if you're not in the mood for this or it doesn't feel good in your body. But I'll walk you through it. We're going to come into a dog pose. If you're not sure, you can look at me first. We're going to lift our left leg up in the air and stack it open. And maybe you stay here. You can bend your knee. You can straighten your knee. Find what feels good. Maybe this is your posture. Maybe you go a little further and let that foot drop down to the ground. Now we're on one arm and we reach back, shoulder blade down the back. Press the ground away. Big breaths, and then we come back. So, you know, you're always your choice with every posture you ever do. When you're ready, we'll meet back into a dog pose. I'm going to slide over so I have a little extra room. Lifting the right leg up in the air, stack it open. Maybe this is where you stop. You can bend your knee, just stretch through your side body. If there's a little more in you, drop that right foot down behind you and reach open with that right arm. Lift the heart. Extend your body. Feel the spaciousness. Feel the support, shoulder blade on the back. And then we'll spin back around, lift that leg up in the air. Bring that foot down onto the ground, dog pose. Come forward, last of the planks. Feel that symmetry, push the ground away. Lower yourself all the way to the ground. Bring your left knee up high toward your armpit. Take a look at it, and we'll cross the right arm underneath us to the left side and roll open into a twist. A full breath. Feel the inhale. Feel the exhale. All right, come back to center. Switching sides, knee up. Compress a little bit onto that side of your body, and then cross the left arm in front of you and roll open into a twist. Feel the heart space broaden and open. And come back around. Come up onto all fours and feel your spine move a little bit. And then drop into a child's pose and put your arms down at your sides. Rest into your spine. Breathe into your back. Come up onto all fours and maybe do a scared cat and let the back round a whole lot. And then a neutral spine. And we'll come forward to a pigeon pose. You can always do a reverse pigeon pose. You can always do any pose. Okay, so find your way. The right leg is going to come first. Opening up your hip. Think less about, we've already done so much heart opening and spinal extending. So let's, instead of coming up, think of length, stretching forward, and then rest your head on something. If you're on your back, be very supportive where your spine feels in a relaxed state. Melt into the hip. Soften your body. Return to your breath. If you kind of lost sight of it with the efforting, return to your breathing and the sense of melting. All right, and then when you feel ready, we'll switch to the other side. You can do a dog pose in between, or you can just swing that leg around. You can do a reverse pigeon pose on this side, just kind of seek what it is that your body needs for ease and comfort. You want to stretch your hip, but not to the point where you're stressing your hip or your SI joint or your knee or anything else. So make sure you feel supported in your position. I have a blanket across my body, so it's underneath my thigh and my sit bone. So the sit bone on one side, the front side, and the thigh on the back leg. And this helps me make sure I'm not rolling into one hip more than the other. If I can make contact with the blanket with both sides, it helps me keep my pelvis in a neutral place. How do you keep your pelvis in a neutral place? Wide sit bones, the slightest bit of an anterior tilt, a long spine. And then concentrate on melting. Melt the heart, melt the eyes, the jaw, the cheeks, the tongue, the hands. Find your way into that breath that helps you surrender. And then we'll find our way out of that pose. Go ahead and come onto your back. Put your feet on the ground. We will lift them up toward our chest in just a moment, but first, let's do a twist. Scoot your hips over, right, knees up, drop them left, and twist open, turn your head. Feel free to straighten the top leg and grab your big toe or your calf if you'd like, keeping your knees together. Feel free to keep those knees bent. Melt your weight, your head especially. Come back to center, neutral, and then shift your hips left, knees come up, drop right. Turn your head left, open through your left chest. Maybe your knees stay bent and you just hang on to the outside of that knee. Maybe the top leg straightens, keeping the knees together. Your choice, always your choice. Heavy head. Right, come back. Neutral spine. All right, bring your knees into your chest. A little bit of rocking. Maybe a happy baby, and maybe a stillness, maybe a little bit of rocking. All right, and then feet down. Interlace your fingers and stretch your arms up around your spine, your upper spine a little bit. And then relax. Cross your arms over so that your hands are touching the opposite shoulders. Big breaths. Change your arms, other arm on top. And then we'll prepare for Shavasana. Now, after all the back bendy kind of vibes, sometimes building a little support for under your knees can be helpful. You can have long blocks next to each other with a blanket on top. Maybe you're lucky and have a bolster. You can instead just put a bolster underneath your knees. So kind of find what you're needing. And then, of course, if you're cold, make sure you put something over you. Make sure you don't have bright lights on you. So treat your body with respect. Set your Shavasana up not as a half effort, but as a full commitment to ease and rest. So go the extra mile, get the extra thing, adjust the extra thing, okay, so that you're very comfortable.
You can always do a leg up the wall or your calves up on a couch. There's lots of options. You could do Shavasana on your side. You can do it in child's pose over a bolster. So many choices. Breathe into your body. Melt your body down. Begin to deepen breathing. And make your transition from Shavasana with care. So moving a little in your small muscles, your fingers, your toes. Maybe turning your head from side to side. Maybe a big stretch. Just see what feels good. Maybe a little rocking. Eventually coming onto your side and pause. And very slowly pushing yourself up to a comfortable seat. Just take a moment to notice your body. Notice your breath. Bring your hands together at your heart. And let's offer the energy of our practice outward to those we meet today. See if you can just kind of let this energy stream through you, where we not only invite the connection in this moment to another, but throughout the day, notice your connections. Notice the uplift of energy that you get when you're in communion with another. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.